English Listening Lab.
Hi, I'm Olivia from English Listening Lab.
Hi, I'm Liam, and I'm working on improving my English when calling friends or family.
That's great, Liam. Today, we're going to practice phrases you can use when you pick up the phone to call someone. And don't worry, it's easier than it seems.
I always feel nervous. I never know how to start.
I know that feeling. Wait, imagine this. You're at your desk in London, phone in hand. You want to call your cousin, but your mind goes blank. What do you say first?
Hello?
That works, but let's make it friendlier. You can say, "Hi, how are you?" Or, "Hey, it's been a while."
Oh, okay. That sounds warmer.
Exactly. Let's slow down. Repeat after me. "Hi, how are you?"
Hi, how are you?
Perfect. And another one. "Hey, it's been a while."
Hey, it's been a while.
Nice. Little phrases like these make the conversation smooth. Now imagine your cousin says, "I'm good. How are you?"
I usually panic and say nothing.
That's okay. You can respond simply, "I'm great, thanks. How's your week going?"
I see. Simple sentences.
Exactly. Simple and clear English works best. Here's a quick tip. Before you call, take a moment to think of 2 to 3 things you want to ask or share. Maybe, "How was your weekend?" Or, "Did you see that new movie?"
That's helpful. Sometimes I forget what to say mid-call.
That's normal. Wait, let me tell you a story. Back home in Edinburgh, I called my friend after a long time. I had no plan, but I remembered one thing: ask about her new dog. It made the conversation fun immediately.
Oh, so having one topic in mind helps.
Exactly. And don't worry about perfect grammar. Just focus on clear ideas. Now, let's practice a short greeting conversation. I'll be the cousin. You start.
Okay. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How's your week?
It's good. I went to a park in Glasgow yesterday.
That's awesome. Which park?
Kelvin Grove Park. I walked and read a book.
Nice. I remember visiting that park when I studied in Glasgow. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the trees and the lake are amazing.
See? Conversation is flowing naturally now. Here's a quick trick for small talk. Ask about things they do regularly. Work, hobbies, weekend plans. Example, "What did you do last weekend?" "Did you watch any good movies?" "Have you tried a new cafe recently?"
I like that. Short questions keep the chat going.
Exactly. And respond with short enthusiasm. "Really? No way. That's awesome."
Oh, like little reactions to show I'm listening.
Yes. And if you pause, don't panic. Pauses are normal. Just smile and think about your next line. Let's imagine another mini scenario. You call your cousin in Dublin. She just got a new job. How do you start?
Hi, I heard about your new job. How's it going?
Perfect. That's natural, friendly, and shows you care. Now, think about sharing news yourself. Maybe you went to a bookstore in Dublin last week. You can say, "I visited a bookstore near St. Stephen's Green. I found a great novel."
Oh, that sounds easy.
It is, and adding one personal detail makes the conversation lively. Here's a mini exercise. I'll say 3 phrases. You pick which one is a good conversation starter. "I'm bored." "Hey, did you see the new cafe in Dublin?" "I have nothing to say."
Number 2.
Correct. See? Focusing on shared experiences or recent activities is key. Now, repeat these greetings and small talk phrases out loud. It builds your confidence. "Hi, how are you?" "Hey, it's been a while." "What did you do last weekend?" "Really? That's awesome."
Hi, how are you? Hey, it's been a while. What did you do last weekend? Really? That's awesome.
Perfect, Liam. You're getting the hang of this. One last tip before we continue. When calling, imagine the person smiling. Picture yourself relaxed in a quiet space, maybe at a cafe in Manchester. It calms nerves instantly.
That helps. I feel less stressed already.
Excellent. And if you want, comment below while practicing, "I will call a friend this week." That makes your learning active. Okay, now we've covered starting the call and basic small talk. Next, we'll see how to share your news and keep the conversation engaging. All right, Liam, so now you've greeted your friend and started some small talk. The next step is sharing your news or experiences in a way that keeps the conversation flowing.
I usually worry about talking too much or boring them.
That's normal. Wait, think about it this way. Everyone likes to hear about something interesting, even small things. For example, you can start with, "I tried a new coffee place in London yesterday. The latte was amazing."
Oh, I see. So short stories about daily life are okay.
Exactly. And you can add one detail to make it vivid, like, "The cafe had these blue chairs and soft jazz music in the background."
That sounds more like a real conversation, not a lesson.
That's the idea. Real-life English is about small, natural details. Here's a quick mini exercise. I'll say 3 ways to share a simple event. You tell me which sounds best. I went out and saw a dog. I went out yesterday, saw a cute dog chasing a ball in Hyde Park.
Number 3, definitely.
Perfect. It's specific and interesting, but still short enough to keep the conversation flowing. Now imagine Liam calling a friend after work in Edinburgh. You want to tell them about your day. You could say, "I had a busy day at the office. We had a meeting about the new project."
Should I add more details?
Yes, but only 1 or 2 details. Maybe, "We discussed deadlines and shared ideas. It was intense, but exciting."
Got it. Short, clear, and a little detail.
Here's another tip. Always try to include something your friend can respond to. For example, after sharing your day, ask, "How was your day?" Or, "Did anything fun happen for you today?"
That makes sense. Otherwise, it feels like a monologue.
Exactly. Conversation is a two-way street, and you can use reactions to show you're listening. Little phrases like, "Wow," "No way," "That's cool."
Oh, so I don't always need full sentences.
Right. Short reactions keep the chat lively. Now imagine you're telling a story about your weekend in Dublin. You could start, "On Saturday, I went to St. Stephen's Green. The weather was beautiful, I read a book, and had coffee outside."
That sounds nice. What if they ask questions?
Great. If they say, "Which book did you read?" you respond simply, "I read a mystery novel by Agatha Christie. It was thrilling."
And I can also ask them about their weekend, right?
Exactly. You could say, "How about you? Did you do anything fun?"
Okay, so short stories with a question at the end.
Yes, Liam. That keeps the conversation balanced. Here's a small role-play exercise. I'll pretend to be your cousin. Start by sharing a small event from your day.
Hi. I went to a cafe in London today. The coffee was really good.
That sounds amazing. Which cafe was it?
It's called the Blue Bean. They play soft jazz music in the background.
Nice. I love cafes with music. Did you try any snacks?
Yes, I had a chocolate croissant. Delicious.
Wow, now I'm hungry just listening.
And then I walked by the river. It was sunny.
Perfect. You shared details, added reactions, and ended with something easy for me to respond to. Now imagine calling a family member in Manchester. You want to tell them about a funny incident. You could say, "You won't believe this. I dropped my phone in a puddle this morning. Luckily, it still works."
That's funny. Should I explain more?
Just a bit. Maybe, "I was rushing to catch the bus and slipped a little, but my coffee didn't spill."
That adds humor naturally.
Exactly. Adding humor or surprise makes your stories engaging. Another tip, use short connecting phrases to make the story smooth. Words like, "so then," "after that," "guess what happened next."
Oh, those make it feel like a real conversation.
Right. And don't worry about perfect grammar. Focus on flow. Here's a mini quiz. Which phrase would you use to continue your story naturally? "Then I ate breakfast." "Then, guess what? I spilled coffee on my shirt." "Then I go store."
Number 2.
Correct. It's interesting, clear, and keeps the listener engaged. Finally, Liam, remember to include small comments or reactions from your side. Even just, "Oh, really? No way. That's amazing."
Got it. Short reactions make me part of the conversation.
Excellent. By practicing sharing experiences with small details and reactions, you'll feel more confident in your calls. We've covered sharing your day or weekend with 1 or 2 details, asking questions to keep the conversation flowing, using reactions and humor, short connecting phrases for stories. Next time, we'll talk about closing the conversation politely and naturally without feeling awkward. All right, Liam, so now that we've practiced sharing your day and making the conversation lively, let's focus on ending the call politely. This is super important because you want the conversation to feel natural from start to finish.
I always get nervous here. I don't want to sound rude or like I'm just hanging up.
Totally understandable. Here's a simple approach. You can summarize the conversation and show appreciation. For example, you could say, "It was so nice catching up with you. I really enjoyed hearing about your weekend."
Okay, that sounds natural. Should I add something about talking again soon?
Yes, you could follow with, "Let's chat again later this week," or "I'll call you again soon."
That feels polite and friendly.
Exactly, and you can even add a small personal touch depending on the person. For instance, if it's your sister, you might say hi to mom for me."
Oh, that's nice. Makes it feel warm.
Right. And here's a mini practice exercise. Imagine you've been talking to a friend about your weekend. Finish the conversation politely.
Thanks for sharing about your weekend. I had fun telling you mine. I'll call you again soon. Bye.
Perfect. Short, clear, polite, and natural. Now, Liam, let's talk about some small talk tips for calls that happen unexpectedly, like when you randomly call a cousin or a friend in Edinburgh.
Those are the hardest calls for me.
I get it. Start simple. "Hi, how's your day going?" Or, "Hey, I was just thinking about you."
That's short and friendly.
Exactly. And if they ask why you called, you can say, "Just wanted to check in and see how you're doing."
Oh, I see. That works for quick, casual calls.
Yes, and remember to listen actively. Little reactions like, "Wow," "No way," "That's great," make a huge difference.
So even small words show on paying attention?
Correct. And now imagine you're telling a funny story during the call. For example, in a cafe in Manchester, you saw a dog stealing someone's sandwich. You could say, "You won't believe this. A dog grabbed someone's sandwich right from their table."
And then maybe pause to let them react?
Exactly. A short pause makes the conversation natural. Then you can say, "I tried to get a photo, but it ran away too fast."
That's fun and easy to picture.
Right. Stories like that are easy to share and invite reactions. Also, Liam, practice some repeat after me phrases for ending calls. "It was great talking to you. I'll catch up with you soon." Take care and have a nice day. Thanks for your time.
Got it. I'll repeat. It was great talking to you. I'll catch up with you soon. Take care and have a nice day. Thanks for your time.
Perfect. You're sounding confident already. Here's another tip. If you're calling someone far away, like your friend in Toronto, you can mention time politely. I know it's late there, so I'll keep this short. Or, I didn't want to disturb you, just wanted to say hi.
That's thoughtful. Makes me sound polite without overthinking.
Exactly. And here's a small role play exercise. I'll pretend to be your cousin in Dublin, and you end the call politely.
Okay. Hey, thanks for catching up. I really enjoyed hearing about your day. I'll call you again soon. Take care. Bye.
Perfect. Short, warm, polite, and confident. Another tip for casual calls, sometimes you can tease lightly or joke, as long as it's friendly. For example, you didn't eat all the chocolate cake, did you? Or, did you actually finish that marathon?
So small humor makes it more lively?
Yes, and don't forget small comments during the call. Short reactions like, "Oh, really? No way. That's awesome." Keep the chat interactive. Now, Liam, imagine a call with your parents after a long day at work in London. You can start simple. "Hi, just wanted to tell you about my day. Work was busy, but I learned a lot."
And then they ask questions, I just answer briefly?
Yes, but also ask them something, like, "How was your day?" Or, "Did anything fun happen today?"
Okay, that keeps it balanced.
Finally, a small real-life story. Back when I was in Sydney, I called my best friend randomly. I started with, "Hi, just thinking of you. How's your day?" We ended up talking for almost an hour, laughing, sharing stories, and saying goodbye politely with, "It was so good talking to you. Let's chat again soon. Take care."
That feels natural and relaxed.
Exactly. Liam, you've now learned how to share short stories or experiences, how to ask questions to keep the conversation flowing, using reactions, humor, and connecting phrases, ending calls politely and warmly, handling casual, unexpected calls confidently. Remember, the key is confidence and natural flow. Don't worry about perfect grammar. Focus on clarity, warmth, and connection. Well, now calling friends or family in English won't feel stressful anymore. If you practice today, try using one of these phrases this week during your next call. You'll see how much smoother it feels.